Hello students, today I am going to talk about the India-Russia defense relation, and the context of today's video is the delay in the supply of aircraft because of the Russian-Ukraine war. And therefore, whenever we are looking into this context, we need to understand that what kind of question can be asked in the mains examination. Therefore, in the last of my discussion, I have one question to discuss with you. But what I am going to do in this video is I will talk about the structure of defense relation between India and Russia. Then I will talk about the status of relation and the weakness in the relation. Because most of the time you might have read in the newspaper that India is going for the diversification of its defense contacts or relations, and that is questioning the India-Russia relationship because of India's going near to US in the terms of defense relation. So in this context, we will try to address the question if it is being asked in 10 marker or 15 marker on this particular topic. So now, with respect to the institutionalized structure, and why I feel that this is very important to understand, because you might have read each and every facts of India-Russia relationship, but if I ask you about what is the structure of the relationship, that might create problem for you in 10 marker question. So I will say that the program of India-Russia defense is being guided by the program for military technical education. Program for military technical education. And in this context, we have Indo-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Military Technical Cooperation. And basically, in this Intergovernmental Commission, the defense minister of both the countries meet. And under this, there are different working groups and different subgroups in the Ministry of Defense of India and Russia. Now, if you will see that what are the different pillars on which this program is focusing upon nowadays, then you will find that they are focusing upon joint development of projects or equipment, you can say. Then now the relationship between India and Russia is not a buyer-seller relationship. It is about after-sale service also. Is it about after-sale service also? And then there is a focus upon joint exercises. Focus upon the joint military exercises. So now these are the three pillars on which the relationship is based upon through the structure, that is IR, Intergovernmental Commission on Military Technical Cooperation. So this is the structure. Now we will talk about the status of the relationship, that how we can say that India-Russia relationship in defense is deep. So in this context, I just want to quote one report of US Congressional report. And this report has highlighted the depth of the relationship. Accordingly, there is a report that is called SIPRI report that is also highlighting that how much relationship is entangled. So if I go by these two reports, then I can say that the Russia is the largest importer for India, and India is the largest exporter of arms for Russia. India is the largest exporter of arms from Russia. Along with this, if you will see, between 2000 to 2020, whatever amount of defense exports India has done, or you can say how the equipments or the military equipment that India has imported from the another countries, out of that Russian equipment comprises of 66%. Though this 66% is disputed because some of the reports are telling that 80% of the arms import constitute or comprises of Russian arms. So this is a dispute on the percentage, but if you will mention this report, then that dispute is not going to hamper your writing or your answers. Now, if I go by this report, then it says that if you will see in Indian Army, then the main battle tank T-90 or T-72 is major battle tank that India has, and that is of Russian origin. Now, if you will see Navy, then we know that the Talwar class frigates. So we have 17 frigates, 6 out of 17 is of Russian origin. Now, if you will see in the Indian Air Force, then you will find that fighter guided missile or fighter guided aircraft that the Air Force have is also of Russian origin. Ground fighter aircraft. So this is basically giving you an understanding that the relationship of defense is very deep. Now we will see that what is going on in the context of Ukraine-Russia war. What is the impact? So the impact, I will say that India was expecting the delivery of Chakra 3 and 4 nuclear ballistic missile by 2025. Now it is delayed. India was also expecting the delivery of S-400. Now it is delayed. India was also expecting the upgradation of MiG-29. Now it is delayed. So India is worried with respect to Russia-Ukraine war. Now, whenever we know about the status, whenever we know about the impact, now we will have to understand that when the relationship is so deep, what is the problem underlying the defense relation? The very first problem is of spare parts. So high cost of spare parts is or has created a problem for India. It has also been observed that deliberately the delay has been seen or observed in the delivery of items from Russia. And whenever there is a delay in the delivery, it will inflate the cost. And we have seen in the case of INS Vikramaditya. Then we have also seen that they are using or they are giving obsolete items in the different tanks or whatever we are exporting from, whatever we are importing from Russia. So we have seen in T-90 engines of the battle tank, there was a problem of overheating. It has also been observed that they are using the rusted and old parts in ballistic missiles and the other arms equipment. So these are the problems that India has faced or India is facing. And therefore, if you will understand that why India is focusing upon diversification, then you will understand that this was the reason. And if you will see that what India has done for diversification, then you will find that India is focusing more on US, UK, Israel. Along with this, India is focusing upon the indigenous manufacturing of arms. Okay. So in the context of indigenous manufacturing of arms, what you can write in your answer, you can talk about defense acquisition procedure. So now, if you will see defense procurement policy, under which this is a defense acquisition procedure comes under the policy. So basically under that policy, now you will find that there are new varieties which has been added, that is called buy global. Then indigenous requirement has been increased to 50% in the manufacture of items. Now if you will see Israel, then we are having Heron UAV from Israel, we are having Barak anti-missile system, we have sensors from Israel for our border management. If you will see UK, then we are having 2035 roadmap, and as per this roadmap we are focusing upon the cyber security and also focusing upon the industrial cooperation on the development of arms and the other equipment. Now if you will show, or if you will look into the India-US relationship with respect to defense, then you already know that there are 3 agreements which have been signed, that is LSA, Logistics Supplier Agreement, BECA, that is Basic Exchange Cooperation Agreement on the Geospatial Information. Then you all know SISMOA. Okay, so these are the agreements which has already been signed, and there is India-US Defense Trade and Technology Initiative, and US has also given the status to India as a major defense partner under their National Defense Authorization Act. So that is the reason that India is diversifying, and this is the evidence that how India is diversifying its partners in the defense relationship. Now based on this understanding, we will see one question, and that will give you an understanding that how we can use the information which I have discussed with you. So now see the question. It is essential for India to diversify its base in order to avoid being overly reliant on a single nation. Discuss the statement in the light of Russia-India defense relations. So I will say that you can start from the status of Indo-Russia relation. So if in one word, if I will have to say about the status, then I can say the status is special, privileged, and strategic partnership. So you can start your answer by introducing the relationship between India and Russia. And just for your information, that is not required to write in your intro. Basically, this relation is based on 6 important pillars. First is political, second is defense, third is civil, fourth is nuclear energy, civil energy and nuclear energy, fifth is anti-terrorism, then it is trade, and the last one is space. So basically the question is on defense, and these are the 6 pillars on which, or basis on which we are telling that there is a special, privilege and strategic partnership. So now we will have to talk about why it is essential for India to diversify. Why? It is essential for India to diversify because it is a question of national security. If you rely on a particular country for your arms, and in any case they stop supplying the items to you, and in that case there is a war from both the fronts, then what you will do? So national security is one of the reasons. Then you can say that that is giving a bargaining power to that particular country. That is questioning the security itself. And if Russia have a bargaining power in the terms of defense, then you can see that they are leveraging this bargaining power in the context of trade, in the context of their relationship with China and Pakistan. Then in that case, what India will do? Then you can also talk about that there is a rise of cyber security issues. It is not like conventional or traditional warfare which is prevalent today. So what is prevalent today is asymmetric warfare. So there is a change in the mode of the war, and therefore we need to have the another partners who are expert in providing defense to the asymmetric warfare. Then you can also talk about that the Russia, basically you will not have to write strongly this statement, but this is true that Russia is not USSR. When Russia was USSR, then they have a direct confrontation with US. Now today, Russia is also managing its relation with the other countries of Southeast Asia and South Asia like China, Pakistan. So what will happen in case of a new axis if develops in the future, that is Russia, China, Pakistan, then what India will do? There will be a war from both the fronts, that is the Eastern front and the Western front. Then what India will do? These are the reasons that it is essential for India to diversify its base. Then you can, after this, you can talk about steps taken by India for diversification that I have discussed with you. Then, in a very brief paragraph, you can talk about Indo-US Russia. Indo-US Russia. Lastly, you can talk about that even today, India is maintaining its relationship with Russia with the same depth, with the same warmth that was in the case of 1970. But the changing geopolitical and geoeconomic scenario gives a understanding to India that it must diversify its partners because of the rising different kinds of warfare, that is a space warfare also. So in this way, you can conclude your answer. This will be the body of your answer, and this will be the introduction of ready-made introduction, I will say, of this particular question. So that's all about the India defense or India-Russia defense relationship. In the next video, I will talk about BRI and space sustainability. So thanks to all of you.